You've been told, time and time again, to grind, hustle, and push through, believing that success will one day give you the happiness you deserve. But here's the reality check. That mindset is lying to you. All that hard work you're pouring in, all that sacrificing today for tomorrow, it's not just robbing you of the peace you want, it's turning life into a constant battle. You keep telling yourself you'll be happy when you reach that big goal, but what if that day never comes? Or worse, what if you get there and realize you've missed out on the joy all along? The truth is, chasing your dreams the way you've been taught might be exactly what's stealing your happiness. Are you ready to confront that? If you're truly committed to your personal growth, now's the perfect moment to take action. Subscribe to our channel Motivation Basics and like this video if you're committed to improve every day. Don't keep this to yourself and share it with someone who's ready to break through their own barriers today. Let's stop talking and start doing this together. The race to success can blind us to the beauty of the present moment. Imagine you're climbing a mountain. Your goal is the summit. You're pushing yourself, eyes fixed on the peak, determined to get to the top. Along the way, you pass breathtaking views, interesting rocks, and wildflowers, but you're too focused on a climb to notice. What happens when you reach the summit, tired and out of breath, only to realize you didn't even look around on the way up? All that beauty was there, but you missed it. Goals can be like that. If you're constantly focused on the end, you may overlook the rewards of the journey itself. But here's the catch. Life's true joy isn't at the summit, found in how you embrace each step you take along the way. Eckhart Tolle, in his book, The Power of Now, beautifully explains that the present moment is the only reality we can experience. He writes, realize deeply that the present moment is all you ever have. It's not the future or the past that holds the key to your happiness. It's not the future or the past that holds the key to your happiness. So why are we so fixated on what lies ahead, when the true joy comes from fully inhabiting the current moment? Being found to be separate from any external action or thought is thus an appropriate starting point for exploring the being dimension. At some point, you'll see that it's not at odds with events occurring in the world around you. This is a great exercise, since it shows that sitting quietly is not necessary to achieve serenity. Being physically present is one way to do it, as Tolle puts it in A New Earth. You are not your mind. The idea is that you are not defined by the relentless pursuit of goals or the thoughts of future success. Instead, you are the awareness behind those thoughts. When you realize this, you free yourself from the tyranny of future expectations, and you can begin to experience life's joy in the here and now. The word stillness has dual meanings in English. In addition to referring to a lack of sound, another possible meaning of the word stillness is the complete lack of motion. When you say sit still, for example, you want to do exactly that, not move. Stillness is the English word for a situation where there is no sound or motion. So it's easy to fall into the prevalent misunderstanding that one must remain still in order to consciously experience the being dimension. When we speak about stillness, then you realize you can move about, and moving around isn't only possible, it's actually helpful. Once you've established that foundation, you can go on to more targeted pursuits while being true to your core identity. Tolle's teachings encourage us to find that stillness within, even while pursuing active goals. By practicing mindfulness in each moment, you can align your actions with your inner sense of peace. Goals that you work toward constitute doing, and they can help you avoid completely submerging yourself in the action. Even if there will be periods in your life when you don't need any goals at all, having them is still important. Certainly, there comes a point in life when it becomes increasingly pointless to pursue aspirations that you have made for yourself. You shouldn't have any more goals in mind when you hit 95 years old unless there's an absolute necessity for you to. For that, though, there may be times when aiming for anything, no matter how lofty or small, isn't necessary. At those times, you might become more engrossed in the here and now by doing the things you normally would. In Tolle's words, the past has no power over the present moment. Therefore, by letting go of the pressure to constantly be doing, you open yourself to enjoying life as it unfolds. Let's consider an example. Think about someone who wants to get fit. They join a gym, commit to a strict diet, and measure every ounce of progress toward their weight loss goal. Day after day, they drag themselves through intense workouts, imagining how much better they'll feel when they hit their target weight. But in doing so, they've ignored something important. They're not enjoying the process. Sure, they might hit their goal, but at what cost? If they were constantly stressing over their food choices, gritting through every workout without any enjoyment, they'll reach their goal feeling burnt out rather than energized and proud. And even worse, they might not sustain their success. True satisfaction comes when you can enjoy the journey. Maybe it's taking a walk after a healthy meal, appreciating the strength you're building, or simply enjoying the small victories, like your body feeling more agile. Truth is, we often miss the beauty of the journey because we're too focused on the future. It's a concept that Eckhart Tolle often discusses. You are here to enable the divine purpose of the universe to unfold. That is how important you are. He reminds us that the present moment holds profound significance, and that by engaging fully with it, we can create more meaningful experiences along the way. Goals are important, but the purpose of achieving them should never be to escape the present moment. Life is to be lived, not just completed. Here's the tricky part. The problem with delayed gratification is that it can set you up for disappointment if you don't appreciate the progress along the way. It's like waiting to feel proud of yourself only when you've reached the top of a ladder. But the truth is, each step on that ladder is a victory. So many of us are trained to wait for that moment when everything will be perfect, when we've earned the right to feel fulfilled. Yet, if you don't enjoy the climb, the summit will always be fleeting. Life is about savoring the steps you take, not just the achievement itself. You need to find joy in the middle of the grind, not just at the end of it. Otherwise, the whole process feels like a sacrifice, and your achievements won't give you the satisfaction you think they will. As Tolle emphasizes, when you create a situation of happiness, you are already in the process of being happy. It's not about the destination, it's about how you carry yourself throughout the journey. Aiming at something is completely okay, yet goals are more appropriately addressed in the realm of action. The problem arises when you let the objective take over your thoughts to the point where you can't cope with the significance of the meaning, the desired outcome, and the destination you want to reach. I find it difficult when the intended outcome takes up too much brain space. If you want to pass a test, get a certain job, or become an expert in a certain activity, this is true regardless of the end goal. Having said that, ambition can engulf some people. While they are working tirelessly to accomplish their goal, they are also going through a period of intense sadness. They are in dire need of getting to that place. Therefore, this is practically a literal statement. Tolle's insight about the ego and its tendency to attach itself to outcomes is crucial here. The ego thrives on achievement, but true fulfillment lies in being present with the process. Primary cause of unhappiness is never the situation but your thoughts about it, Tolle writes. This idea helps us understand that when we focus solely on the outcome, we risk missing out on the present joy that can be found in every moment of the pursuit itself. Not only are they unhappy, but when things don't work out the way they expected, they might get quite angry and furious. Minor obstacles, often in the form of specific people, will always be there. They get furious, that much is clear. Sorrow, tension, and unrest characterize the entire trip, which is often laden with extremely poisonous emotions. Not only do they deserve to be miserable, but they also make everyone around them miserable. Tension and discontent will permeate the entire organization if it is a huge corporation. According to an old adage, one of the most important skills one can have is the capacity to delay gratification. Yeah, that's kind of right. You can have a young individual who is so focused on getting into college that they study all night long and hardly socialize. The person who lives next door to them, however, is easily irritated and seeks pleasure in a hurry. Going out to clubs while high on booze and drugs is just the beginning of what they start doing. They also start drinking and using other narcotics. Why bother doing anything at all? This seems to be the case because the delayed gratification individual can do anything after a few years. The problem with that recipe for delayed gratification is that it can make you believe things that you won't be able to change even after you've been using it for a while. Your satisfaction seldom lasts more than a fleeting second before you are compelled to put it off once more due to some other goal that demands your whole focus. The danger lies in that. A life unbalanced between the being dimension and the other dimensions is suggested by all of this. You miss out on experiencing life in the present moment because you are fixated on getting there and doing something. Eckhart Tolle addresses this beautifully in his book, The Power of Now, where he states, "Realize deeply that the present moment is all you ever have." This encapsulates the dilemma of delaying gratification. By focusing only on the future, we forget to live in the present. And as we focus on the distant goal, the present moment slips by unnoticed, like a train we never board. Imagine you're on a hike with the end objective in mind, the highest point of the mountain or some other faraway landmark. Finishing it in the next 6 hours is the target. You have resolved to complete the task at hand, so you have set a timer. As you travel, you'll pass some absolutely stunning scenery, including the sky, flowers, and more. You are so excited to be there that you fail to see any of that, The success or failure of this mission depends on you. Finally, you have arrived, but the journey here must have been quite an ordeal. It was terrible because you couldn't appreciate the beauty all around you. According to the adage, you couldn't even pause to take a leisurely walk in the garden, since you couldn't stop moving. This scenario mirrors the way we often approach our goals in life. The journey itself becomes something to endure rather than something to experience. When we're fixated on the destination, we lose the richness of the journey. Eckhart Tolle's teachings emphasize that being fully present in the now is the gateway to peace and fulfillment, not just the eventual arrival. He writes, in A New Earth, the moment you take your attention away from the past and future, you step into the now. Let's take a real-life example of someone pursuing a career goal. Picture Sarah, a young woman determined to make it in the competitive world of finance. She works around the clock, sacrificing weekends with friends, late nights, and even holidays to climb the corporate ladder. For years, she's told herself that she will finally be happy when she makes partner at the firm. But as the years go by, Sarah realizes something. She hasn't been truly present at any of the milestones along the way, whether it was the satisfaction of finishing a tough project or the joy of achieving smaller promotions. All she focused on was the end goal. When she finally reaches partner, the excitement is short-lived. The happiness she anticipated doesn't come because she was too busy postponing it. She learns much too late that happiness wasn't something to delay. It was there, in the small moments all along. In The Power of Now, Eckhart Tolle notes, the more you are focused on the past and future, the more you miss the present moment, which is all that is real. Sarah's experience is an example of this. By focusing entirely on the distant goal, she missed the beauty of her journey. The satisfaction of each step along the way would have brought her a sense of fulfillment, but she was too fixated on the future. Now, here's an unexpected twist to the story. Even though Sarah found herself burnt out, she didn't just give up on her ambitions. She made a conscious shift. She decided to start celebrating the daily wins. Instead of focusing only on the big promotions, she started appreciating the little victories, like solving a complex financial case or having a productive meeting. Slowly, she started feeling more at ease, less pressured by the idea of "I'll be happy when." Took time, but Sarah learned that the key to enjoying life while chasing your goals isn't to abandon ambition. It's to stop putting happiness on hold. She realized that the path to her goal could be just as fulfilling as the goal itself. Eckhart Tolle's wisdom comes to mind once again. Whatever you think the world is withholding from you, you are withholding from the world. Sarah was withholding joy from herself by focusing solely on the future. When she shifted to embracing the present, she realized that joy could coexist with her ambition. Her path, as it turned out, was as meaningful as the destination. The being dimension is present at the very moment. If you were to take a brief stop, realizing that you can't escape the here and now is the first step toward embracing it. The here and now is the portal via which we can enter the realm of being. If you are unable to accomplish it, you might have some victories, as the world calls them. However, those victories won't mean much if the entire route was filled with misery. The fact that you have reached your destination has not alleviated your anxiety. Eckhart Tolle's profound insight encourages us to live fully in the present moment. The past and future are constructs of the mind, but the present is the only true reality. The present is the only true reality. The primary cause of unhappiness is never the situation, but your thoughts about it, Tolle reminds us. If we're constantly caught up in the cycle of striving for the next big goal, we miss the chance to enjoy what's happening now. The key is to shift from doing to being. This doesn't mean abandoning ambition, but rather learning to enjoy the process itself. I don't mean to imply that this is true for every successful person. On the other hand, some individuals may be able to keep their balance. A handful of really successful people I've met aren't completely bewildered by the incident either. Even so, they have the capacity to value the present moment. Is the idea of delayed gratification still relevant? Could you tell me how that works? Even yet, is changing your mind really even possible? Do you think it's feasible to enjoy what you're doing instead of thinking, "Okay, I have to delay gratification"? It is indeed possible to feel satisfaction even while you're not yet at your ultimate goal. The key is not to rely on future gratification, but to recognize that there is value and fulfillment in the journey itself. Whether you're preparing for an exam, learning an instrument, or mastering a new skill, you can feel satisfaction in the process. As Eckhart Tolle suggests, when you surrender to the moment, the journey becomes the destination. Acting from this place of presence and awareness doesn't mean abandoning your goals. It means that while you work towards them, you do so with an understanding that the fulfillment you seek isn't just found at the end of the road. It's in the here and now. Every step, every challenge, and every small victory is part of the richness of life. The real challenge isn't to delay gratification. It's to fully embrace the present moment and find joy in the process. The question then becomes not whether you can feel satisfaction before mastery, but whether you can embrace the journey with the same passion as the destination. Can you find fulfillment not just in the end goal, but in each step along the way? Tolle's teachings suggest that the answer is yes, and that the secret to enjoying life while chasing your goals lies in embracing the now. Stop wasting time and make every moment count in your life. Subscribe to Motivation Basics for daily motivational videos on personal growth. Show your commitment by liking the video and commenting the word "grow." Be sure to share it with someone who needs to slow down in life. We're in this together.